Because also on episode 2 of Who Killed WCW, uh, Bret Hart blames Goldberg
He
for.
also called Russo an idiot.
See, he was right on that.
No, he
But
wasn't.
he blames Goldberg for kicking him in the head and ending his career. I got two things to say to that. Number one, Goldberg, actually, I got a couple things to say. So, number one, Goldberg has apologized profusely for doing that. Okay? Number two, before the match, Goldberg told him, hey, brother, watch out for the kick.
Right.
Right. Number three, Brett, and somebody clip this and send us to him. I don't give a fuck. Brett, if Goldberg ended your career as badly as you say he did, I have one question for you. Why on earth did you wrestle 7 fucking matches after that?
Hmm.
One of them being a hardcore match against Terry Funk. If your career was ended so badly, if your career was done so dirty, so raw by Goldberg, and you had that concussion, and I'm not denying that you had a concussion. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not doubting that. But if that happened, why did you continue to wrestle? If it was so bad for you, that if that kick was so bad, Brett, you know what you should have done? You should have gone to Eric Bischoff or Vince Russo or whoever the fuck was in charge,
I
and
believe
you should have said what?
I believe Bischoff would have been gone at this point. Would have been Russo
Okay,
because this
you
was
should have
Starcade.
you should have gone to Russo's office or WCW or Titan or whatever. You should have gone to
Not
whoever.
Titan. That's WWE.
I'm
You
sorry.
can't go to Titan for that.
I'm sorry. No, you should have gone to TBS, the Turner offices.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you should have said, "Hey, this guy kicked me in the head, gave me a concussion, ended my career. Fuck you. I'm out. Pay me. I did my obligations. You live up to yours." If that was so bad for you, Brett, that's what you should have done. But that's not what you did. What you did was wrestled after that, and after that, and after that, several more times. And then you had the balls to sit there and blame Goldberg for your career ending. No, Brett, do you know whose fault it is that your career ended? It was yours, Brett. It was your fault that your career ended because you wanted to play the fucking victim all this time. And now you expect us to play along with your little fantasy. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to sit there and blame Goldberg for that. I'm not. I don't know if Frank is. I'll let Frank have his say on this in a minute, but I'm not. Goldberg told you to watch for the kick. You didn't watch for the kick. Goldberg apologized for giving you the concussion. You didn't accept the apology. That's fine. That's on you. If you want to be a bitter piece of crap, Brett, please, by all means, be a bitter piece of crap. But stop blaming everybody else for your failures. Just admit, Brett, when you were wrong. And there are several times when you were wrong. Frank, please, what do you think?
I'm so glad that that I have a laptop now and I have a Windows movie maker where I can edit shit. We're definitely creating some clips. I'm not sending any of them to Bret Hart. I swear I'm not sending any of them to Bret Hart, but I will be creating clips off this show.
Yeah, yeah.
We got heated here.
Show.
Just remember, just because we may get heated at times doesn't mean we're mad at each other. It's just a debate. We're not mad at each other. It's
I
just
hate
a
you,
debate.
Frank. I hate you so much. You're fired, bro. You're fired.
As it pertains to the Goldberg and Bret Hart situation, we brought this up on the show before. I've even talked to you because you asked me about it. Before I get to Bret Hart and Goldberg, I want to talk about what I brought up, where he called Vince Russo an idiot. Yeah, the guy who wrote some of the best stuff in your career, all that shit that went down in 1997, not the screw job. The screw job was his fault, first of all. And by him, I mean Bret Hart. But all that, the feud with
Right, right
Austin,
there. That's where you hit it.
yeah, the feud with Austin, the America Canada thing, which is pretty much the same thing, but still, all that. Who wrote that? The idiot wrote that. Yeah, he must be a real idiot, isn't he? Anyway, as it pertains to Goldberg and the kick, by the way, he also, don't forget, he also wrestled a couple times in 2010 and won the U.S. title. Don't forget that.
Right.
Yeah, so it wasn't just like right after on WCW. He was even wrestling in 2010. Um, Look, as they say, and they don't mean this as a work. This is a legit shoot when they say this on the show. It ain't ballet. Guys legitimately get hurt. That
Uh-huh.
and that's what happened. And if Goldberg really did tell Bret Hart, which I believe he did, I'm gonna believe that. If he legitimately said, "Watch out for the kick," you would think somebody like Bret Hart, who has been working in this business for over, at that point, 20 to 30 years, would understand, yeah, gotta watch out for that kick. Or especially with Goldberg being a guy who's only been in the business for 2 years at this point, just tell him we're not doing no kick. Plain and simple,
There we go. Hey,
you know?
watch out for
but
the kick. Nah, brother, I'm not doing a kick.
but let me tell you something. May he rest in peace, first off. Draws. Did Droz sit here and go on a million shoot interviews or a million Vice documentaries and bash D'Lo Brown to high
No,
heaven?
no.
No, he didn't. And
D'Lo
what
apologized.
D'Lo,
Ross said it's not your fault, brother. And
yeah,
D'Lo
D'Lo
still,
also,
D'Lo still blamed himself,
yeah, man.
but Draws
And
never did. D'Lo blamed himself, but Draws never blamed you.
right, I don't think it's D'Lo's fault. First of all, but
No.
first shout out to D'Lo because he is a fellow Bears fan. But what I want to say about that, like D'Lo was actually at the bedside of Draws after this happened. Like he was crying too and
Yeah.
everything. Like I feel bad for D'Lo. I of course feel bad for Draws, because of course we saw he could never walk ever again. But you know what you're getting into. And this is a guy, by the way, in Draws, who was playing on a football field. He was playing on a gridiron prior to this. So he absolutely understands, even in the NFL, one hit could paralyze you. So he knows he went from one dangerous uh, aspect to another one in pro wrestling. It may be entertainment, it may be a television show. I've sit here and called it fake. When I say it's fake, I don't mean that these guys aren't getting hurt. We all know these guys get
Oh yeah.
hurt. When I say fake, I just mean nobody's
Entertainment
winning these matches.
is
Nobody's winning
predetermined.
these
When you
props.
say fake, you don't mean fake. You mean predetermined.
Pretty much, it's the same thing though. The fights are fake.
I'm not getting into that with you, but go
It's
ahead.
literally the same thing, except they
I'm not
are
getting
getting
into
hurt.
that
They
with you.
are absolutely in danger of getting hurt. We're not saying that these guys don't. I'm not saying, because you don't. I'm talking about me. I'm not saying these guys aren't busting their ass, because they absolutely are. That's a very dangerous thing, a very dangerous performance. Like they say, it ain't ballet. You have to know. And Bret Hart, who had been in that business at this time for nearly 20 years, had to know, probably even more than that. I don't know his official debut when he officially got into the business. I know he was wrestling before he got the WWE, but anyway, whatever. Bret Hart had been doing that for a long time. He has to know injuries can happen. He literally
Right.
had just seen his brother break, and by mistake break Austin's neck. This shit happens. Did
Mhm.
Austin, by the way? Well, actually, yeah, Austin kind of. No, Owen was the one who didn't talk to Austin because he felt so bad.
Right. Right.
That's the
Owen
thing.
never apologized.
Austin,
That Owen never apologized.
right? That's because he felt bad. Let's say that. That's what Brett
Sure.
says. He felt absolutely horrible
You can come up with
about
a
what
million
he did.
reasons or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
gonna.
even Austin, what did Austin do to close out that Raw? Even after Owen did that to his neck, even after Owen never apologized, even though again he
He
felt so
gives a
bad.
beer up to him in tribute.
Exactly. He closed that show with the toast as he's looking at Titantron, the Titantron showing the picture of
Uh-huh.
Owen with the in memoriam. He's toasting that picture. He could have easily, as the number one guy, too. You think Vince McMahon is going to fire his number one guy in the middle of a Monday Night War if he says, I'm not going out there? I still hate the guy for never apologizing. He absolutely, Austin,
Well,
could have sat back